Okay, so I can get started.
Yes, Tanvi. Yes.
Good morning, everybody at Book Profit Club, as well as, I would say, some new guests and the new faces over here. There is a frequent and universal discussion for working women, no matter which profession they are in, no matter whichever part of the world they may reside. We are all trying to be daughters, mothers, wives, bosses, and managers without neglecting any of these roles. And these many roles, it can sometimes be so overwhelming, leading sometimes to burnout. But how do we maintain the balance? Do we need to choose, or can we have it all? We want to excel in our careers, particularly if one is very purpose-driven. But we are overtly consumed by guilt, by fear of not being able to be available to everyone all the time. And we find ourselves bottom of the list, available to others, but not to ourselves. There is a very famous quote by Maya Angelou, which says, "I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. So we are talking about the glass ceilings over here. But friends, the glass ceilings has been broken in many professions and by many professionals. And fortunately, women today have several inspirational stories as well as inspirational leaders to choose and to get inspired and learn from their lives. So today, as you have joined this particular session, let me introduce you to one of such women, which is Indu ma'am, who is going to do a book review of Indra Nooyi. To give a little background of Indu ma'am. Indu ma'am has more than 15 years of experience in people development, business consulting, and personal branding. Prior to her entrepreneurial stint, she played key roles in managing team and businesses with large corporates like TCS, HCL, and Dosh Software Limited. She is the chief trainer of Win-Win Leadership Academy, and through her role as a trainer and mentor, she has trained several in Fortune 500 organizations. She's a certified image consultant. She is certified for Train the Trainer program from OMI Institute, image management from Image Consulting Business, and in addition, she is a Maha Acharya certified high value trainer. So for this particular book, without taking much time, I hand over the virtual stage to Indu ma'am, and let's all come on video and give a big round of applause to Indu ma'am and to listen to the book review that she's going to present. The floor is yours, Indu ma'am.
Thank you, Tanvi. That was a wonderful introduction. Thanks for that introduction. So let me share my screen and let me know whether you're able to see my screen. Can you all see?
Yeah, it's coming up. Yes, we can able to see.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. So good morning, all. Welcome to this book review. Thank you for giving me the opportunity for reviewing this wonderful book. So without any further delay, let's start the session. So this is a book which I'm going to review. So I'm going to read some few lines from here. One foggy Tuesday in November 2009, after hours of meetings in Washington, D.C., with 24 of top US and Indian business executives, I found myself standing between the President of the United States and Prime Minister of India, Barack Obama and Manmohan Singh. President Barack Obama introduced me to Mr. Singh, saying, "Indra Nooyi, CEO of PepsiCo." And Prime Minister Singh exclaimed, "Oh, but she is one of us." And the President Obama, with a big smile and without missing a beat, responded, "Ah, but she's one of us too." It's a moment I'll never forget. Spontaneous kindness from the leaders of two great countries that have given me so much. I am still the girl who grew up in a close family in Madras, the south of India, and I'm deeply connected to the lessons and culture of my youth. I am also the woman who arrived in the US at the age of 23 to study and work and somehow rose to lead an iconic company, a journey that I believe is possible only in America. I belong in both the worlds. What a wonderful introduction, right? So this is about a simple girl, middle class Brahmin girl from Chennai who later went to USA to become the CEO of a giant company called PepsiCo. So welcome to this book review, the book, My Life in Full, Work, Family, and Our Future, a memoir by Indra Nooyi. So that's what we are going to see now. So friends, this book has 4 parts in it. The first part of the book talks about growing up. So what is this? This has 3 chapters in it, and this part of the book talks about her childhood, her family, and about her school days, her college days, and her first job after her college, what she was doing at Chennai. So this is what is being covered in the first part of the book, which is called Growing Up. And the second part of the book, which is called Finding My Footing. So what is it all about? Imagine finding a job, migrating in USA and migrating and settling in America. Nowadays, I don't think so. It's very difficult. It's quite easy, right? But imagine 40 years back in 1970s, when there was nothing like computers, IT, corporate world, etc., etc. I think all these things came up only in late 80s or early 90s. In 1970, a girl from a conservative family going to US and finding her footing is what this part is all about. Okay, and this has somewhere around 2 chapters in it. And third comes the very important part in Indra Nooyi's life, which is called the PepsiCo years. She's been working with PepsiCo for 2 decades, 24 years she's been working with PepsiCo, and lots of stories about her experiences, about her commitment, her struggle, insults, creativity, managing things, etc., etc. So many stories in this part, and this has 6 chapters. This is the part which is having the maximum chapters in the book, and I'm going to share you a couple of stories from this from her experiences. And finally, the last part of the book is looking ahead. Looking ahead is typically which is nothing but her life after exiting PepsiCo. What is she looking at? This is what the part of the book, and we are going to see one by one what is she talking about. So the first part is about growing up, right? Indra Nooyi was born in 1955 in Madras. She says, "We were always allowed to express our point of view, fully develop our ideas, and argue them out with our elders. But we have to be willing to accept the adults' interruption, not allowing us to finish and often telling us, 'What do you know about this topic? Just listen to me. Listen to me, you will be fine.' We were allowed to dream. At the same time, we were also controlled. You know, we began to accept our elders' style. And frankly, that's the only style we know. That's what she's writing. And Indra has she has two siblings, one elder sister, Chandrika, and younger brother, Nandu. Generally, if you see, when she and her sister, they are just a year apart, but her brother is much younger to both of them. So generally, when you see, when two sisters are of almost of the same age, they'll be more like friends. So Indra and Chandrika had a very healthy competition in their childhood. Indra and Chandrika, both of them did their schooling in Holy Angels Anglo-Indian School, Chennai. And later they did their bachelor's degree in Madras Christian College. Indra did her college in bachelor's degree in physics, chemistry, and maths at Madras Christian College. And later, Chandrika, with lot of struggle, got permission and joined IIM Ahmedabad to do her master's. Here, a very interesting thing happened. You know what Chandrika told Indra? She told, "You have been around for all my time in Holy Angels and Madras Christian College. I need a break from you. Don't you dare to apply IIM Ahmedabad." So what happened is, this really triggered a kind of prestige issue in Indra, right? So Indra just said, see, she has no choice, but she just managed it, telling her that Ahmedabad is too easy. That's why you joined there. I'm applying to IIM Calcutta. I bravely retorted, the truth is, I didn't have a choice. And she joined IIM Calcutta to do her MBA. Also in this part, her childhood, growing up part, she more talks about her grandfather. Fondly, she refers him as Tata. That's how we call, right? In South India, we used to call our grandfather Tata. That's how she refers him. She says, he reminds my greatest teacher, and I refer to his life lessons in every aspect of my adulthood. My dedication to work comes from his pushing me to keep going. She says he's an incredible person. He was a district judge and a disciplinarian. His singular focus was his grandchildren. He actually dedicated his whole life to for his grandchildren, how they are growing up, how to help them grow up really well, how to give them a lot of knowledge. Can you all read this sentence? Can someone quickly unmute and read this sentence for me?
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Thank you, Naresh. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. You know what Indra says? Her grandfather, Tata, he makes us write these pages over pages to improve our handwriting. Do you know why? This particular line has all the 26 English alphabets in this sentence. Can you just see A, B, C, D up to Z? Everything is there in this one particular sentence. So this is how her Tata has made the grandchildren improve their handwriting, because he believed a good handwriting meant a good future. That's what she says. So Indra dedicates and owe her major part of her success to Tata. May it be her handwriting, may it be her speed reading, may it be her mathematical knowledge. Everything is being fine-tuned by her grandfather, Tata. Then comes her parents. Her parents, Krishnamurti and Shanta Krishnamurti, they were a very protective parents, basically, and they didn't allow the children to watch movies or anything. So this made them read lots and lots of books. They ended up reading lots of books. And interestingly, Indra and Chandrika, they were introduced to a lending book library, a lending library next to their house. In that lending library, if they lend 1 rupee, they can per day, they can lend as many books as possible. So what happened is Chandrika and Indra had a competition between them, saying that who will read the maximum number of books by lending 1 rupee, by giving 1 rupee in the library. And this made her read books in a very fast pace. And so she became very good at speed reading. She says it even at the end of this book, because of this speed reading, which really helped her in her career in the later stage when she was in PepsiCo. Even when she became the CEO, because of the speed reading, she was able to do a lot of work very fast. And the public speaking skill, what she has, was found and refined by her mother, Shanta. While her mother is having her dinner after feeding everyone at home, she used to make these two girls give a speech on topics like what will you do if you become the PM, Prime Minister of your country? What will you do? What will I do if I become the Chief Minister? What will I do if I become the director of an organization? What will you do if I become the collector of the district? And what she does is, after both the girls give their speeches, she decides, she votes who did better, and she used to give a small reward. And you know what is that small reward was? It was one small piece from the Cadbury bar. That bar chocolate will have small pieces. No, in that, one piece will be given to the girls as reward. And Indra says that that chocolate tasted the best than any other best chocolates in the world. That's what she says, because it was a reward from the mother. But there was also this conflict, a mother who asked us to dream big, and at the same time telling us to get married at 18. That's what she says, because her mother was insisting them to get married, both the girls, at the age of 18. So both the girls were very much worried. They were really threatened what will happen to their life. They were worried. But the men, the father and grandfather, both of them put their foot down and said that no, we have to give equal importance for whether it's boy or girl. We have to give equal rights to both of them. And that's how they allowed the girls to dream big and achieve what they have achieved today. If you go and search for Chandrika, even her name is now Chandrika Tandon, she is also doing really well in USA, actually. So a big thanks to the men of her family. That's how these girls were able to achieve what they have achieved in their life. And Chandrika was a very academic oriented girl. She always study. That's what she was all about. But Indra was not like that. Indra was very clear that this is my life and I have to live this life. And she used to be very good at extracurricular activities. Like, she was a good orator. She used to attend a lot of competitions. And later, she was good at cricket. She used to play cricket along with her brother and with her school friends. And interestingly, she was also part of a band during her school days. You can see Indra, that is the tall girl, is Indra Nooyi. She used to be a part of a band called Logarithm. And they used to sing English songs like Delaira, Oblada, Obladi kind of songs. And they were quite famous when they were running this band in their school. That's how her school life went. And later, she actually earned a degree from Madras Christian College and MBA from IIM Calcutta. And she began her career at the textile firm called Maytur Birdsell in Madras, and later joined Johnson & Johnson. Here there is one very interesting story. You know what? Stay Free, the napkin, was launched or was introduced by Indra in India, actually. I don't know how many of you know about this. When she joined Johnson & Johnson, she wanted to sell Stay Free. So what she did, She used to ask her female colleagues, her female employees, to use the Stay Free and leave it in the bathroom for her to do the research, for her to understand, because it's a US product. So she wants to understand how a US product will suit uh, Indian people, because here the weather is different, the body condition is different, the lifestyle is different, everything is totally different from US. So how is it going to help? All her bosses, the men, so they were all depending on Indra for doing the research. But they, even though they were all men, they their single focus was to give a better product for the Indian ladies, and that's how Stay Free napkin was launched in India. And actually, Indra takes a major role in doing that for India. That's a small story from that part of her life. And later, she received scholarship to attend Yale University in Connecticut, USA. She went to Yale, I think, at the age of 23. So this is about her growing up part of. There are lots and lots of stories. I'm just giving you a very important one or two things from those chapters. And now we'll go to the next part of her life, which is called Finding My Footing. After acquiring her master's in public and private management, Indra joined Boston Consulting Group as strategy consultant, and she was working there for some time. BCG, the Boston Consulting Group was called BCG actually. Then she worked at organizations like Motorola, ABB in leading corporate strategy and planning department. See, Indra was mostly on planning, strategy and planning till she became CEO in PepsiCo. That's what is her forte. The planning and strategy planning is what is her forte. That's how she was working. Then comes the interesting story. She met Raj Nooyi. She met Raj Nooyi during her college days when she was doing her master's in Yale University. Tall, good-looking, handsome gentleman who's an engineer and a MBA graduate who was working in a very reputed organization. They went for a dinner. They were hanging around for some time along with friends. They were friends and they had a big group and they were hanging around together. She says, we went for a dinner one day, and when we finished our dinner, we decided to get married. What made them to do that? Our value systems were the same and the background were the same. And it was just the meeting of the mind during that dinner. And then they were married, Indra and Raj. That's a very interesting story, you know. He's a Kannadiga. She's a South Indian Tamil Brahmin girl. But they convinced their family and they got married. They started their marriage life in a very, 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 very simple way, like how any simple middle class people will start their journey. That's how they started. We have to talk about Raj here because Raj plays a major role in Indra's career success. Absolutely, yes, because he's equally competent as Indra, but he literally sacrificed so many things personally and professionally. So many instances we can say, one such instance. First of all, their marriage itself is a very interesting marriage. You know what she says about her marriage? Raj and I were married in a low-ceilinged, wood-paneled recreation room in Uncle Ramesh and Auntie Jaya's house. The ceremony lasted for about an hour. We then feasted on an Indian buffet dinner for about 40 people. You know what? They had a very, very simple marriage in a This is their marriage picture. If you see, there were only, if it was in India, there would have been hundreds and hundreds of people, and it would have happened for 2 to 3 days. But then it just happened for one hour. They conducted the marriage and they just dispersed, and they just started a very simple life. I can say so many instances where Raj has really extended his support to Indra. Indra met with a very bad car crash after her first daughter's delivery, and she was bedridden for more than 3 months. And the kind of support Raj, as well as the whole family, the kind of support they extended to Indra was excellent. And Indra says that she's very, very lucky, and Raj is her lifeboat. That's how she refers Raj, because she says that when she became the CEO, or before becoming the CEO, she was the president in PepsiCo. They will just say that today you have to attend the meeting. Tonight there is going to be a business party and you have to be with your husband, and he'll be in some part of the country, I mean, like in some other city, and she will call and say, Raj, I don't know, by 5 o'clock you have to be here. And he will just leave his work. He'll come join Indra for the business meeting, business party. And Indra says that the moment they enter the party, she'll be taken away from Raj, and Raj will be left. But Raj is a very nice guy, very, very wonderful person who talks, who used to get along with other people. And at the end of the party, Indra will come and say, where is Raj? Come, let's go home. So that's how they used to, a lot of sacrifices Raj has done for Indra to come to this level, right? And that's the beautiful family. They have 2 daughters, Preeta and Tara. That's a beautiful family of Indra Nooyi. This is about finding the footing part of Indra Nooyi's life. And then comes the very interesting part, PepsiCo. The PepsiCo years, which is a very big, maximum, huge part of Indra Nooyi's life. In 1994, she says, both GE and PepsiCo were pressing me with attractive job offers. You know what happened when both GE and PepsiCo gave her the offer? She was thinking of taking GE, frankly. You know why? Because she was thinking that PepsiCo is not her cup of tea, because she's a vegetarian and she's not a big fan of soft drinks or this aerated drinks. So she thought that why will I go to PepsiCo? And PepsiCo has all this kind of drinks, Pepsi, and they had KFC in them. So she was thinking that she can't do justice for this company, so she wanted to leave. And she says that that time PepsiCo's CEO was Mr. Wayne, and the GE's CEO was Jack. She says, I received a remarkable phone call from Wayne. He started by saying, I'd been at GE board meeting and that Jack told me that you'll be probably joining GE. I understand why you would do that. It's a great company and Jack is a great CEO. But he went on and said, I want to PepsiCo's case one last time because you said you will make your decision very soon. My need for you is greater than Jack's. And we have never had somebody like you in our executive ranks. I know that you can contribute significantly to PepsiCo. You will have all our support to make sure you are successful. What a beautiful, beautiful thing he has told. She says that Wayne thought PepsiCo needed her more than GE, and he thought that a woman was long overdue in his executive rank. And she says, that afternoon, I decided, drove over to PepsiCo and accepted the job. And rest is, my dear friends, history. That's what I can say. She joined PepsiCo in the year 1994, and she became the CFO and the president of the company in the year 2000. A very interesting thing happened when she became the president. I'm going to show you a video. We'll talk about this after the video. Please let me know if you're not able to hear the volume.
Yes.
This was about, we were in the middle of the Quaker Oats integration or the acquisition. The existing chairman and
I
CEO
hope
at that
it's
time
fine, the
and
volume.
said to me,
Audio you are able to hear?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, thank you.
board of directors of PepsiCo. I mean, I was over to be president of an iconic American company and to be on the board of directors. I mean, I thought was just and work till midnight, which I really would have done because I had so much work to do. I decided to go home and share the good news with my family. So I got home at about 10, parked the car, got into the garage, and my mother was waiting at the top of the stairs. And I said to her, Mom, I got great news for you. And she said, well, then let the news wait. Can you go out and get some milk? My husband is home. What time did he get home? She said 8 o'clock. I said, why didn't you ask him to buy the milk? Because he's tired, okay? He's tired. He's tired. We have a couple of thought. I said, okay, fine. She said, just go get the milk. We needed for the milk and came back. I sort of banged it on the counter and I said, I had great news for you. I've just been told that I'm going to be president on the board of directors. And all that you want me to do is to go out and get, let me explain something to you. You might be president of PepsiCo, you might be on the board of directors, but when you enter this house, you're the wife, you're the daughter, you're the daughter-in-law, you're the mother, you're all of that. Nobody else can take that place. So leave that damn crown in the garage. Now, I have to tell you, David, I've never seen that crown. I've never seen it. Between my husband and my kids, they've hidden it. So I haven't seen it ever.
So friends, that's a very interesting story, right? I think it's very true with most of the women, right? We don't see the crown, and it's been hidden between so many things, between so many people. That's what happens generally, right? And in fact, if you listen to her, some of her interviews, she says very clearly, why, if it was a man, they would have really celebrated. But if it is a woman, then they say that please hide your crown. I think it's important that now and then even the women should be allowed to wear the crown, or otherwise, in the other way, if you see, both the men and women should remove their crown, leave it in the garage and enter the house and take the responsibility. That's what she feels about this story, actually. So let's move on. Then comes the PepsiCo. You know what happened? She joined PepsiCo in 1994. And in 1996, she actually wanted to resign her job from PepsiCo. You know why? She says, in September 1996, we finished the full restaurant business review and summed it up to present to the board of directors. This would be my first real exposure to Pepsi's board. And I had no idea how I'd be viewed by the stalwarts of the industry. The day before the board meeting, on a day when we had one of the quarterly division presidents meeting, I went to see Roger in his office. Roger was the CEO at that time, CEO of PepsiCo. And she says, Roger, I'm ready for the board tomorrow. And after that, I am leaving PepsiCo. I put up with countless meetings where I've been humiliated. I won't deal with this anymore. I don't want anything from PepsiCo. I'm just leaving. This is what she told. You know what she thinks? That there was the other presidents of the company, they felt that she was too intrusive and she was very offensive. And Roger was not doing anything about it. That's what was her feeling. So she just wanted to leave. And, even though she says, even though I would always been willing to push myself to the edge for my employers, I felt that I had to draw a line when it came to others respecting the sincerity of my work. On that day, I didn't consider where my career would take me next. I just wanted to get out of what I felt was unacceptable situation. I don't know what happened. Roger just said that I'll get back to you. And she says, I don't know what he did after our talk. The meeting that day was delayed for several hours. And when it happened late in the afternoon, the atmosphere was completely changed for me. And everyone was incredibly supportive. This was a moment for brutal objectivity. It's a situation I found myself in repeatedly over many years. good business demands tough decisions based on rigorous analysis and unwavering follow through. Emotion can't really play a part. The challenge we all face as leaders is to let the feelings churn inside you, but then to present a calm exterior. I learned to do that. This is what she has to tell. But after this, she actually wanted to leave PepsiCo, but her CEO didn't allow. Things turned into her favor, and rest is like then no looking back for her. She joined the board of directors in the year 2001 and named as CEO and chairman of PepsiCo in the year 2006. Indra was the architect of performance with purpose, the company's pledge. Friends, I would say that it is not only the company's pledge, it is actually Indra Nooyi's motto of life: performance with purpose. To make, if you see from PepsiCo's point of view, it was to make healthier and nutritious products. Due to this change, actually, the company's revenue grew by 80%. You know what happened? She is the one who brought in this performance with purpose pledge. Actually, what was happening is PepsiCo was those days PepsiCo's products where they were considering it as a very unhealthy food because they had Taco Bells and they had what KFC and they had Pepsi, Fanta kind of things actually. But then they also there was also this problem that nobody was preferring PepsiCo products before 10 o'clock in the morning. That is, they were not considering PepsiCo products for breakfast. So she wanted to actually make healthy products and bring the PepsiCo products to the breakfast table. And that's how they started acquiring the Quaker Oats, and then they acquired Tropicana. So all these things, and she's the one who brought Aquafina, the water bottle, because there it used to be the aerated drink, right? Water. It's always the sparkle water. But she's the one who brought in the Aquafina, the normal water for drinking, and it became a big hit, and she very clearly says that huge change has no shortcuts. It requires honesty, agility, and courage. Once I committed to transforming PepsiCo, I felt my education and experience merging to serve that mission, and I was ready for it. That's what she's talking about in her PepsiCo days. She's done a lot of changes. In fact, her letter to her employees, executives, parents, it was a very it was talked. So many people have talked about this. She wrote a letter to the PepsiCo company's employees' parents, saying that how important is your son or daughter to the organization, how well they are performing, and it was sent with a beautiful bouquet and a gift, and they were all. It was so overwhelming for all the parents, and that's how she has really connected with the employees, and that's how she has worked in PepsiCo. Long years, like 24 years, is a huge huge thing, right? So that's about her PepsiCo years. And then comes the looking ahead after exiting PepsiCo. Indra Nooyi received Padma Bhushan by the President of India. She was named as one of America's best leaders by US News and World Report. She was elected as a fellow member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Nooyi was elected chairwoman of the US-India Business Council. Since Feb 2019, Nooyi has been a member of the board of directors at Amazon and also Philips, actually. And she serves as Dean's Advisory Council member at MIT School of Engineering and member of the MIT Corporation. And Nooyi, a very interesting part is this. Nooyi joined as director at International Cricket Council in 2018. Actually, she's a very big fan of cricket, and that's the reason actually she joined as a director at India International Cricket Council. If you really see some of her interviews, and if you read this book, you will understand that she wants to do a lot for the working women. Back in India as well as in America, she wanted to, along with the government support, she really wanted to work on this because she thinks that she always says as there was a lot of sacrifices in her life in the if you take in the family front, because the women are really struggling to balance the career and the personal life, the children especially. So that is the reason she always says that there has to be a good solution for this. She talks about Anganwadi. I hope everybody knows about Anganwadi, where it's a baby care center from government, right? But it is in a very what can I say, starting level in India, and she wants to really make it big. She says Anganwadi 4.0 has to come, and not only the IT industry or a big the women who are working in big companies will need this kind of support. Even the people like nurses, teachers, who are going for daily labor job, everybody needs this kind of support because they are really struggling to manage work-life balance. That is what is her looking ahead of as a future, this is what she's looking for. And I think Tanvi, in the introduction, she told that I'm a certified image consultant. So from the image consultant perspective, I just wanted to talk about Indra Nooyi's image building. This was Indra Nooyi, I think 40 years back, or 35, 40 years back. And the kind of, because see, friends always know the appearance is being taken for granted. We always think that it is not important to look good. My work will speak volumes than me, is what we always think. But friends, it's not true. Your appearance does matters a lot. You can see Indra Nooyi, the transformational change on her. She's a great, she has her image consultant. She has a personal consultant with her. And the way she dresses up for her meetings and for her high executive meetings is wonderful. She always presents herself so well. So this is how her dressing and her kind of appearance always. And Indra Nooyi, the former chairman and CEO of PepsiCo, was honored at the 2019 American Portrait Gala at the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C., as her portrait was added to the gallery's collection. So if you see, so this is the picture. This is actually a painting. It's not a photo. It's a painting which was done by this painter. He's the one who has painted this, and this will be done for the celebrities basically. And generally they'll not have anything as a background. It'll be a plain background or some scenery or something like that. But she made it very clear that she wants to have these 4 things in her background. And you know what is all this? The first thing, she talks about her parents, their picture there. That is because they are the ones. She is now what she is because of them. They are the ones who brought her to this world. So that's why she has her parents' picture behind her. And the second thing, her husband and her 2 daughters. If they were not there, she would have not come to this position now. That's what she feels. That's the reason she has her family picture there, husband and children. And the third one, the cap. You can see it's a baseball cap with Yale University logo in it. because she's a big fan of baseball. She plays baseball actually. Because of that liking, she also like Yankees, and she's telling that it was between Yankees and baseball, so I chose baseball, and that's the reason I have a baseball cap there with a Yale University logo, because she thinks that Yale University, everything started there. Her whole success story started there. That's what she feels. And that's the reason she's having that. And finally, you can see this is nothing but her motto of life: the performance, performance with purpose. That's her motto actually, and that's the reason she's having that logo there in her portrait. And from my thank you speech, this is what she said: I hope that any girl, any person of color, any immigrant, any American who looks at John's creation will not only see a portrait, I hope they will see that anything is possible. And I hope they will find their own way of bringing their spirit and talents to bear on the work of lifting up this country and our world. This is what she has written in her thank you note. And with that, we have come to the end of this book review session. I just want to end this with this video.
ILF had tremendous success in that meritocracy, bringing very much here in India. So I have a lot to thank India for. And I lived in the company. I just worked all the time. And how did I do it? This is trade-offs. And I think through it all, I might be a CEO today, and I have to remind myself, please come home. Please, 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 please come home. I love you, but I love you more if you came home. This is my 4 or 5-year-old writing these notes. First, please be a lifelong student. When we are kids, we ask questions like, why is the sky blue? Why is that curiosity goes away? And if we are happy with the knowledge we have, then long student, don't lose that curiosity. Second, whatever you do, throw yourself into it. Not as a job, I look at it as a calling, as a passion. And I don't care about the hours, I don't care about the hardship. So whatever you do, please look upon it as a calling and a passion. The third and the most important one, please help others from helping build the future. All of us in positions of power have an obligation to pull others up. Consistency. It's important that leaders are consistent. You can change your mind, but change your mind against a consistent framework. Because if you're not consistent, and the last skill is your compass. Integrity is critical in this job. You can be complicated, be consistent, but if you don't have integrity, that compass. I look at my responsibility not as external responsibility, an obligation to actually make it possible for the people who are younger to the state sometime in the future.
So friends, that's the story of Indra Nooyi. If you really see, to sum up, there's a lots and lots of sacrifices she has done to achieve this success. It's not only her sacrifices, but also the people around her, especially her family actually. And she also talks about her mentors. She had lots and lots of mentors from where she started her career, Chennai Maytur Birdsell, till her even now she has her mentors. She talks about them. And see, I think that day somebody wrote, when I posted that YouTube video on the Book Prophet group about she talking about how she was struggling to manage things. She was talking about coping mechanism. Wonderful learning for me actually from that video and from the book. In fact, see, we should never try to be on the topmost in everything, A grade. I think Rajni posted it in the group saying that don't try to get A grade in everything. It's okay to be on B sometimes. I think that's so true, friends. Some women, they choose to be to get the A grade in family and B grade in career. That's good. That's their choice. In the same way, if some woman is deciding to get A grade in career, then please don't try to get the same A grade in family. It's not possible. It is very difficult. It becomes too stressful. So we have to balance that. It is okay to get B or C grade sometimes in other things. We have to balance that. We have to prioritize. We have to decide on what is important for us. And that's how we have to take the life going forward. And thank you. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. So I'm